there we go. In a world that has become increasingly more divided, especially over the last 2 years, we are at a critical point where it's essential to cultivate and nurture more social conscious communities. I mean, what if you could intentionally nurture the relationships you have and attract the ones you want in such a way that you get all the love, all the support, and all the growth that aligns with your authentic self that we explored last week in last week's stream? As you're joining us here today on today's stream, there are a couple of quick logistic things to get out of the way. And we know that, we're moving over to the group now. So the crowd may not be as large because we have all these other places that we normally stream from. So we're going to call on you to be a little bit more active, all right, to fill in that spot. The first thing to do is go ahead and let us see in the comments where you're from. I already seen Linda dropped in. Someone's a Facebook user from Denmark, is
Denmark. Yep.
Denmark, yeah. And anyone else coming in, as you come in, go ahead and drop in the comments to let us know where you're listening in from. Tell us the city, country, and at least one interesting thing or fact about where you live, okay? Just so we kind of understand where you are and some of the cool, interesting features in your area. I'm about an hour outside of Vancouver, Canada. And one of the interesting facts about where I live is I live on a mountain, and it's just up the road from my house. We get black bear and cougar sightings every now and then. It's actually quite frequent. So that we're living right in nature, and we, even though we're a populated area, but nature comes down to us, or we've infringed it on nature. I'm not quite sure which it is. So that's where we're at. And secondly, there is a link in the post as well as in the comments that allows you to give us permission to see who you are when you make a comment. So that Facebook person from Denmark, if you find that link, you just have to give Facebook, hey Chris, you just have to give Facebook permission for us to see who you are in the comments, so we can, if you choose to. You don't have to, but that way we actually know who we're talking to when we see the comments. So please remember to click that. It takes about 30 seconds. If that, it's just really just click, and it's good to go.
Yeah, it's really more about the Facebook algorithm. This is a private group, and so Facebook will say, well, if it's private, then you need to give us special permission so that we can let other people know who you actually are. So anyhow, but thirdly, remember that we also have our segment Down the Rabbit Hole on Saturday mornings, 8 a.m. Pacific time. It's a free call. It's a Zoom call where we invite you to join us. We have live interactive conversations with others in this amazing community. And we're there to provoke and inspire deep and insightful conversations, and even expand on like today's show. A lot of times people will come into the Saturday shows because they have very, very specific questions about what we talked about in the Thursday live stream. And many people also listen to these on the replays, and so they're not here to actually post their questions. So it's a great way to interact with other people that are in our community. The link is down below. It's hackingtheinfinitymatrix.com/rabbit hole. And so we also want to welcome you to the Quest for Conscious Communities. Episode 71, Chapter 2 of Getting to the Heart of the Infinity Matrix. And today we're going to show you how the path to the life of your dreams is about seeking out the dream makers while being aware of the dream killers along the way. And have you found your dream makers? Do you know where the dream killers are? That's what this is all about. So stick around. It's going to be a powerful and important live stream that could impact you, that will impact you and everyone that you know.
Okay, so I'm sure that I'm not the only one who's had dreams of being a part of a global conscious community.
No, you're not.
Go ahead and drop in a hashtag community in the chat if you're one of those, or hashtag curious if you don't know what it is about, but you'd like to know more. So hashtag community, if you thought of yourself, well, if I could be a part of a community like that, it would nourish me, it would soothe my soul, and I could contribute to it. And if you don't know what a conscious community is, just hashtag curious, just so we can kind of get an idea, where everyone's at. And sure, the whole idea of being a part of a consciously enlightened community seems all dreamy and ideal, but the reality is that they are hard to find and can even be harder to create. And there's a variety of different reasons for that. So our hope for you today is that during this stream that you'll know what to look for, why you need to do it, why you need to be looking, and if you can't find one, how to go about creating and growing your very own community of empowered, loving, and supported people. I think we can all agree from experience that isolation is not the path to a fulfilling life. All right, we've got plenty of evidence in the last couple of years of that. I think we can all agree on that. In fact, there are countless stories of people on their deathbeds who confess that their biggest regret is not spending enough time with family and friends. Now, the cool thing is that because you're here listening to this live stream today, whether it's live or you're catching the replay, you don't have to wait until it's too late to do anything about it. Okay, the fact that you're in the group is, first of all, you've taken steps. That's part of it. But you're in a very powerful and important, empowering place right now where you can start to build the reality of tomorrow. Right? And the secret ingredient here is to make sure that you first and foremost establish and develop a sense of self, so that regardless of the relationships you're in, you show up as your authentic self day 1, day 2, and onwards. Okay? Think of the idea of being welcomed with open arms into a community that challenges you to be your best and comforts you when you slip and falter from your attempts. I mean, I think we all want that kind of experience, right? Being in a place where, as the Three Musketeers would say, we're all for one and one for all, right?
Is there a third one here?
What's that?
Is there a third one? Are you D'Artagnan?
Yeah.
He probably is.
And we all adhere to an agreed upon set of principles, right? Now, first and foremost, the important principle is to agree that we all agree to be responsible for ourselves. And this means 100% accountability for the things we do and for how we respond to the things we experience. So there's no blame game option. Okay, that board game is off the table, off the shelf. Okay, I mean, imagine if we were bold enough, brave enough, and audacious enough to claim full responsibility for whatever happens to us, because good, bad, or indifferent, because of the choices we've made. That's a high level of functioning as a community, wouldn't you say? I think so. And collectively, we'd understand that all experiences are co-created in order to experience them together, but how we individually respond to those experiences is on us and no one else. Right? And the second attribute to this amazing field in which which everyone lives and moves and is their being, right? Their being who they are. That we know is this field that we know is made up through our beliefs, our thoughts, our perceptions, and especially the way we show up as the spiritually evolving life force that we are. These are shared experiences that link us together, creating a bond in which everyone who chooses to be involved is open, willing, and actively doing their own self-reflection in order to remain in touch with their true authentic self, because it changes all the time, right? You're adapting, you're growing, you're evolving, you're learning. So if you're not consistently doing that self-reflection, then you're caught up on a past idea of who you were, not a current one. So that would mean at some level, we'd all agree to constantly be working on maintaining awareness of individual responsibility in how you respond to circumstances that arise out of the co-collective collaboration in creating this reality. Okay? And as one of our teachers always says, circumstances don't matter. It's your state of being that matters. Right? Lock that in. Circumstances don't matter. It's your state of being that matters. Okay. And finally, because you're a conscious, you are conscious of the co-collective collaboration that's involved in creating this reality. At any given moment, you develop a profound sense of what's important and what's not important for each participant within the community. Right? Accepting that all roles are just as important as any other, and everyone is honored for what they do and who they are. I mean, think about that, right? I mean, that's a bold picture. That's a bold concept of reality. And if we, Ross and I, sent you an invitation to be a part of that conscious community, in fact, if each and every one of you listening to this, either live or on the replay, took on the challenge to either be a part of a community like that or create one where you are, how much of a different world would we be living in right now? Right? What are the social, economic, and even personal problems that would just vanish? Literally just wouldn't be a part of the experience. How would the children of those communities grow up? What kind of things would they accomplish? And who would they become? I mean, what potential would they have? I mean, if you think about that, if even for a little while, just enough that it becomes something you truly start to desire, you might even find yourself lost in thought about it throughout the day, or dream deeply and profoundly about it throughout the night, until you line up to join the movement into a more harmonious and enlightened global community. Actually, now that I think about it, maybe on some level of consciousness, that's a version of what happened to you to get into this private group. Okay, our own global community that strives for and works towards a version of reality like that. Okay, and as we as individuals of the community are raising the awareness and the vibration of this community with the sole purpose of instilling within you that you are free. Free to grow, free to expand, free to think, free to choose. With this freedom, you can unleash your own potential and soar into the possibilities of whichever reality best suits your spirit.
You know, and for some unknown reasons, we have a society where we as a society we've formed this habit of setting boundaries for those we interact with, or test, if you want to call them that. You know, rather than allowing things to simply happen. But what happens though is we, while not quite comprehending the nature of the infinity matrix, set up a yay or nay parameters. When we get confused with setting the boundaries or the parameters with people, and well, here's the thing. By setting any kind of a parameter of what you want or don't want, it requires a response from the matrix. This is a universe that is based solely upon vibration and attraction. There are no exceptions. So when you say yes to something, you're calling it to you. When you say no to something, you're calling it to you. Think about this. The difference is hopefully the yes resonance is outperforming the no resonance. So who remembers how this is done? What is the primary factor? Pop it down in the comments if you can. So vibrationally speaking, whatever you're saying you want or do not want in any sort of relationship, I want this and I don't want that, is the same thing as saying I'm making myself vibrationally available to this thing I do not want and this thing that I dearly want. Allowing is allowing. Here's the distinction. Allowing what? Understand there's an unspoken agreement with the matrix that reads as so. Are you ready? Write this down. This is so important. That agreement is, I allow you to reflect back to me whatever I transmit to you. I allow you to reflect back to me whatever I transmit to you. It's very short. It's very sweet. So don't make this complicated. If you want to have even more details about this, you can kind of get a quasi refresher course from episode 32, the new 5G. So go back and that's going to give you some really in-depth on this. And that's kind of all encompassing as to where today we're talking about specifically the relationships in your life. So keep this top of mind as you travel the realm of your reality and you meet different people and converse with them and break bread with them and perhaps even become intimate. Something has always been working in the background. Your filtering system, your ideals system, your
Speed of the matrix.
Yes, your am I good enough system, your are they good enough system. Basically an overall system comprised of predetermined judgments. In this case, your allowing system. It runs like this. You meet a person at, let's just say, a social gathering. In your mind, you're going, that's an interesting answer. Or, that's a weird wardrobe choice. Or, that is amazing. Those are really cool experiences that he's had. Or, why did she wear that? Or the last one, what made her say that? And it goes on and on. While our mind compiles, sorts, and discards the comparisons. We're always comparing these to our ideal. We have an ideal back here, a definition. So the question to begin asking yourself, why am I filtering? Am I going towards or pushing away from? And if so, what or to what? This dynamic is so revealing. How am I filtering? Physically, intellectually, energetically? What parameters am I using to filter? Subsets of those parameters can be physical, too tall, too short, skin color, hair color, thin, muscular, smile, frown, etc. It just goes on and on and on. Intellectually, we look at, is this a good or a great conversationalist? What's their perceived level of intelligence? They have a diploma. Are they scholar, PhD, whatever the case? You could put job, what kind of job they have in there as well if you wanted. Energetically, do I get a good vibration off this person? Do I get a bad vibration? Do I get a trusting feeling from this person? Or do I get a clutch my purse feeling from this person? And such. Who taught these to me? When or where did I have the experience that ingrained them within me? These are another variation of definitions that we've talked about for the last year and a half. How did they become what they are? And are these parameters working for me? When you determine the current system isn't empowering you, then it becomes a choice of continuing or severing its influence upon you. Keep it in mind, there are no right or wrong answers here. Either a person makes you feel empowered or they disempower you. It's that simple. And be careful not to complicate this. What was it last month? Gary and I, we were talking about words, that one word, but. Yeah, they disempower me, but he's really cute, or yeah, I'm really disempowered, but they're really influential, so I can tolerate it. You ever notice that sometimes the most unappealing people seem to enter in your sphere? I think everybody's had that at one time or another. First one, then another, and then another. They're not necessarily bad people. They're just ones who don't resonate with you. So think back. What did you say or think when that first one appeared? And then the second, and the third and fourth. Because the third and fourth, they appeared faster than the first two. Now, I don't want to put words into your head, but I'll assume your thoughts were something like the line of, what the, or how the blank did that happen? I don't like that kind of person around here. Or perhaps you even said it with a bit of disdain. You charged it. Well, since you are the ultimate determination of the qualities you wish to see in friends and acquaintances in your environment, and the infinity matrix knows this, then what you project out must be what you want. After all, as far as the matrix is concerned, you are never wrong. So with this in mind, when you are defining the people you prefer to have in your sphere, which is a better descriptor? I want them to be like blank, or I don't want them to be like blank. Which one do you think is more powerful in attracting the relationships that you prefer to be in your life? A or B? Put it in the comments. A, I want them to be like blank, or B, I don't want them to be like blank. Both of those are equally powerful. Energy, vibration, wishes, and wants are all equal in their energetic transmission. But what isn't equal? So everybody close your eyes. Just close your eyes. I want pink elephants.
Unless you're driving. If you're driving and listening, do not close your eyes.
Close one eye. I want pink elephants. I don't want pink elephants. What do you see in your mind's eye? I don't want a tall, dark, handsome man. Or I really want a tall, dark, handsome man. With both of those statements, do you get the same image in your mind? What do you see? Each of those are equal messages into the matrix, except for one thing. And what do you think that one thing is? Put it in the comments. What do you think that one thing is that makes the difference? Have you ever met a stranger and the two of you just resonated? Not sexually or anything like that, but you felt more like long lost friends. You both were resonating at the same frequencies and were energetically attracted to each other. So your filter system turned itself off because it was content with the energy exchange. So if for the reason to prove to you that you're not alone, to relax and let synchronicity play out, to make the example of now you are two, and you can be three, and you can be four, and you can be 5 and 10 and 20 and on and on. So here's the good news. The awesome news that you are doing far, far more than acquiring just a list of friendships. You're crafting and molding the citizens of your reality, not by changing them from this to that, rather by selecting them for the awesomeness that they already have. For example, have you noticed that there aren't many rude or bombastic people in this private group? Because the first step was making it private. And the second was using the qualifying questions upon registering. And thirdly, Gary and I, we set the example while joyfully providing quality content. And in many cases, others began setting the example in the quality of their posts and their interactions. And all this is because Gary and I have crafted a type, a trait that we are looking for in a member, as a member of this community, not by forcing compliance. So then other people begin inviting their bubble of friends with similar traits, and a community of two exponentially becomes a community of over 8,000. Now, in your case, once you've had some relationships that you've carved out for your reality, your ideal definition becomes even more clearer and clearer and clearer. And comfortable interactions continue. If someone's rude, you put someone nicer there. If someone doesn't understand you, you put someone who does. It's your reality. It's your community. In other words, you're building your own community of relationships, going way beyond you, because each one who becomes a part of your reality becomes part of you, the creator. And as a creator, a wonderful thing happens. You become free. No longer are you trying to manage that which cannot be managed. Your filters begin to relax because you are now attracting in, drawing in, manifesting into your life and reality those that best suit you. Doesn't that sound much easier, more divine? The filter system is a flawed premise that brings frustration and anxiety, causing constriction and angst. This is not the life that you want to manifest, is it? So, with all this in mind, in creating the bold community that we are putting together, we have a truly amazing 5-day challenge that we'll be launching next month. So just to let you know, it has a ton of teaching about this very subject, a ton of it. And it's called the Foundations for Creating Empowered Realities. And Gary, correct me if I'm wrong, it is off the hook. It is We've been just day and night working on this. So we're not going to use this valuable time to go into the details, but if you like what we've done so far, this is a major upgrade for reality expansion. So go ahead and type hashtag empowered or hashtag 5-day challenge if you'll be interested in the challenge. You're going to see a lot about it in the next few weeks, but it's going to be awesome. The whole process I've been talking about today is solely about getting greater clarity and you figuring out how to line up with that clarity. And what has to happen is your relationship with the matrix has to override everything. And it has to be more important than everything. And we talk to people every day. And we'll tell them that, to go here and go there and you'll be happy. And you know what they say? It's just kind of a big price to pay for getting everything. It's staggering. I just want to be happy. Okay. So instead, they think a trip to Disneyland or a cruise is going to be the answer. Granted, it might be a distraction, but it's not the answer. Society has driven many of us to think the answer, the happiness, the relief is out there. And it's not. Out there, pay attention, out there came from in here. And it's even bigger than going there. Out there came from in here. Because you can feel good all the time. It's the only thing that is truly real. Out there is fleeting. Now you're smart enough to get this, and you care about feeling good, good for you, good for those around you. So you're going to ignore the irrelevant and give your undivided attention to the extremely relevant expansion of your reality. That it's here, and it always will be. And a friendly reminder, once again, as we said, please join us on Saturday for Down the Rabbit Hole. This is a big program that we're doing today. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions, and that's going to be your opportunity to ask very, very specific questions. And it's a deep discussion. It is open. It's not us just talking heads. Everybody in there is asking their questions and contributing to the conversation to get clarity. So register at hackingtheinfinitymatrix.com/rabbit hole. It's loads of fun, guys.
Scrolling on the bottom there. Yeah. So, as we observe the things that are going on in the world with the abundance of video feeds that are online, it's important to remember that there are also experiences that don't get shown, right? So, so our assessment is only going to be a cross-section of global reality. I hope you get that, right? And here's what the cross-section seems to show. As of this live stream, so it may change in the future, but as of this live stream, we are yearning for connection with that sense of self, the spiritual evolving life force, right, with ourself, where we fit in this grand design, right? We're wondering, what are we here to do, and what's our contribution or legacy going to be to the human experience? We strive for some kind of reflection, as Ross was talking about, in others, so we don't feel alone or isolated. You feel like your vulnerabilities are not protected, and your strengths are not recognized or celebrated. I mean, these are real stuff, not stuff that's talked about on the mainstream. But these are real things that people are going through and experiencing. Many of you here can relate, right? Most of us don't have a safe place where we can collaborate in a conscious way to share goals, dreams, aspirations, challenges, and hardships without fear of judgment or ridicule. Yet we yearn for guidance, support, and feedback, but are too afraid to admit it or seek it. Now, I think the growth and popularity of online platforms proves that globally, we don't really even care about geographical boundaries. At the core, we don't care about ethnic backgrounds or even about opposing core beliefs. What we're truly searching for, if you dig down, what we're truly searching for as a collective species is any form of connection with the
Absolutely.
collective,
Absolutely.
right? In hopes that the things we want and the things we need will get fulfilled through those connections. And it's like there's a genetic SOS beacon, right? That's hoping to connect with whatever it is that binds us together on this tiny blue planet in the infiniteness of the cosmos, and in this tiny speck of a moment we somehow share called time. Because that's what it is. That's what we're going through right now. And the fact that you are here listening to us on this specific topic means that there is a spark that has been lit inside of your spirit, a spark to begin a global initiative towards a more empowered reality. Again, go ahead and type #empowered if you can feel what I'm talking about. Right? This is because we can see that the system we have in place for our communities are failing us. It's becoming undeniable. And this shows up in the individuals in a variety of ways. So, for example, did you know that we are the most overweight, over-medicated, and over-addicted generation in history? In human history. I mean, think about that, okay? Right? I mean, come on. That's not a plaque or a certificate I want plastered on the wall for myself or my family and friends.
Congratulations.
You know, this is a signal. Don't you think? It's a signal. Right? It's a signal that as humans, we don't know how to create empowered realities that resonate with the core of who we are. We just don't have, we've never been equipped with that skill set. Right? And what's even worse, in our younger generation,
Mm-hmm.
between ages of 15 and 24, and this is again from stats before this whole COVID stuff happened, right? So I'm sure it's even worse now, right? But that age group, 15 to 24, their number one disability is depression and substance abuse. Right? Depression and when I was growing up, depression wasn't anything we never talked about it. Someone was sad, they were had life issues and stuff, but depression was not something we talked about. Right? So if you try to tell me that our communities are succeeding, I'd say that's not accurate. Because there's going to be some reflection of that shows up in that older generation too, right? The 25s and up that are having some elements of those things, because these kids are learning it from somewhere. Right? Now think about it. And because if those stats are not scary enough, think about this. among that same group, 15 to 24, the number 2 and the number 3 causes of death: homicide and suicide. So they're either taking a life or they're taking their own life. And when you think about it, it shouldn't come as a surprise, right? Since we moved away from the intimate and supportive communities to isolated, shut off chambers of fear and stress. And with an enforced buffer zone of 3, 6, 10 feet, right? We're missing out and becoming neglected in a critical component of growth and survival from the time we were kids, from the time we were babies. A critical component of growth and survival as a species is that it's a simple act of getting a hug. Now, did you know that hugging has been found to balance the nervous system, lower cholesterol levels in the body, reduce loneliness and fears? It increases self-esteem, it reduces tension, and it increases gratitude. So, who do we become if those things are taken away from us over and over and over again? Or better yet, as Ross was saying, depends on how you focus and frame it, right? Or better yet, who would we become if those were the things that our communities encouraged and welcomed and reported on and showed and emphasized and rejoiced in? Right? I mean, a very influential and successful American family therapist, Virginia Satir. I don't think she's around anymore. I think she's passed on. But a quote of hers is, "We need 4 hugs a day for survival. We need 8 hugs a day for maintenance. And we need 12 hugs a day for growth." How the hell are we going to do that with a 3, 6, 10-foot buffer? We're not even getting the survival components in. Right? Because we're not developing these communities that are conscious and that are supportive and inclusive instead of exclusive, right? If those stats about our younger generation don't scream at you to do your part in finding or creating a community that is focused on empowering you and giving you tools, resources, and skills to co-collectively raise our vibration, as Ross was talking about, to raise our vibration and set new examples for the upcoming generation, then I don't know what will. But here's the kicker. The solution isn't going out there to try and fix them. The solution is, as we talked about last stream and in many other streams, the solution is to start at home base. Working on bringing the best you to the table. Bring the best you to the dance. And if you're Ross, don't dance.
Oh, man.
Just show your best self up. That's all we need.
So you saw the video. Okay. It's just like,
Be that someone who knows they have choice and they can be in the eye of the storm, as we've talked about in many streams, to embody the principle that it's more resourceful to come from a this and that perspective instead of this or that judgment. Because historically, that has not worked out for us as a species. So going back to it is nonsense. It's crazy talk. We need to move forward. And I think one of the biggest tragedies that has come from how many of the world governments have dealt with this last 2 years is that it has put a severe blow to individual sense of belonging. Not being able to truly connect, to find where they fit, to be with one another in a place void of fear or judgment, which has led to a lack of connection with purpose and passion. Because there is a lack of being connected with someone and something greater than yourself. And Ross and I believe that this year, 2022, is when people will come to a place where enough is enough. And we're seeing it start to show up in the world now. Enough is enough. They will be ready to do the self-reflection. And if you go back to draw the line in the sand, there's a line in the sand. That's a great episode. I don't remember what number it is. It's a great episode to touch base with. Right? To do the self-work, to be a part of or create the communities that will begin to heal the planet and bring us on a path to the utopia we were told couldn't be attained. Right? And this is one of our primary reasons for building and growing this group, as Ross mentioned. It's a driving force for us to put together these weekly shows. And it's a reason we've decided to step it up this year and only work with people who are serious and committed to a similar vision for themselves and for the planet as a whole. And while you can't, because it's a private group, you can't really share this stream or any of the other streams from the group, you can, as Ross said, you can invite friends into the group. And I don't believe they even have to, I think they go right in, Ross. I think is that right?
Generally, yeah.
Right?
If they're invited, it's kind of like where, as I said, where Gary and I have already set up filters for the people that we don't know. Mm-hmm. You are the filter now when you're inviting friends, so they're just automatically let in.
Yeah, right. And so, as you've noticed, the last couple of weeks, we've been making little adjustments in the delivery of our content to focus more on this group with exclusive content. So if you don't already know, right, the first live stream of every month will go live on all platforms to let people know about to let them know about and experience the monthly theme. Then the rest of the streams for that month will only be live streamed in this group for you, part of our community. Right? The ones that have stepped up and said, hey, we want to take this a little bit more seriously. Right? We're going to be more selective on where we allow the replays to be accessed. But as members, we'll keep you in the loop. And as Ross mentioned, we have our first 5-day challenge set for next month. More details will come next week. We'll start to unfold more, post and info on it, and get people, show them where they can go and register for that 5-day challenge. But again,
and that's where you get to see me dance.
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay.
Yes.
So if you haven't already done it, if you've done it, that's fine. But if you haven't already done it, and if you're interested in learning about how to create empowered reality, create empowered reality's 5-day challenge, it's 9 simple steps to altering your reality to getting what you want without bumping into fears and self-doubt. Right? So if you haven't already done it, just Ross dancing, yippee, Linda says. I don't know, Linda. Go. So if you haven't already done it, and put hashtag 5-day challenge or hashtag empowered. Let me throw it up again here on the screen here. Again, if you haven't already done that, then that will let us know to give you advance notice before we launch it to the public, so you can know where to register for that 5-day challenge. All right. So if we can come to a place where we're doing our own self-reflection and collectively exploring the values and the beliefs that we all agree upon as a guidepost for interaction within the community, it opens up for a system of shared beliefs, shared values, and shared ways of being. We would begin a global initiative to live from a place of empowered choice instead of stifling fears. And we challenge and support anyone and in loving and integral ways to be a part of that community. But the reality is that those things are not possible if we don't get rid of past failures, past conditionings, past or even current habits. We need to serve the planet by first serving ourselves, by mastering the art of creating the empowered realities we want. And that's what that challenge is going to be about. Right? Then collaborating with others in a community or communities that are in alignment with the vibrational frequencies that are true to their core. And with that foundation, right? With that foundation, we'd be able to honor and nurture this beautiful Mother Earth that gives us life. And that's what next week's live stream is about. So live stream 1 was take care of you. Live stream 2 is take care of those around you. Live stream 3 next week is take care of Mother Earth, the place that gives us support for life. So make sure you come back and tune in. If you can join our growing community of rabbits on Saturday mornings, right? We'd love to have you come and listen, come to ask questions, come to share. It's totally up to you how you participate. The doors are wide open. All are accepted. Any questions, any comments is totally open floor. And all you need for the key is to register hackingtheinfinitematrix.com/rabbit hole. It's there on the scrolling down the bottom to get your Zoom link. And then Saturday morning, 8 a.m. PST, come and join us there. That's our stream for today, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember, we dare you to choose to be exceptional. Apply what you've learned and learn from what you've applied as you master the art of designing your reality. Till next time, thanks for showing up, and be good to yourself, be good to others, and be good to those who you think may not even deserve it, because they need it most.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Be well, everyone. Thank you.
Have a great day. Peace.